Sports games were a very popular genre on the PlayStation, and even just during the 32-bit era, with many unique sports categories all throwing their hat into the ring to contend with the dominance of being the best at what they do. So you had everything from the likes of football or soccer, basketball, golf, ice hockey, fighting, and even boxing, to name but a few. And they all had their own traits and characteristics. While some were considered decent, others probably not so much. But boxing games do have a tendency to get a hard rap with regards to the quality of some of the games that were released on the console itself. As honestly, there were quite a number of games that were released on the system, but there are very few out there that generally were considered to be decent and good at best. As yes, a lot of them did have some really cool ideas, but due to the controls, the clunkiness of the mechanics that were at play, and just due to the sluggish nature of many of these games, left it very, very frustrating for the casual gamer to come in and play. Only really a hardcore enthusiast would get the most out of these experiences. But a lot of these games were also released in the Japanese region, so much so that there's so many games there that very few of us have never played or even know even existed. And in this video we'll be exploring another one of those games by the name of Hard Blow that was released in Japan only in 1997 for the PlayStation and is an all-out boxing game. But this also acts as more of a simulation compared to a lot of other games of its category, as you focus on the career of your chosen character. So you can pick your character model and you can change out various visual aesthetics from hair to skin colour, and you can change out the stats as well from strength, stamina, speed and various different conditions. And then your goal from that point on is to level up your character by training, getting them to eat right. It literally goes through all of the dynamic features that wouldn't often be seen in many games. There have been a couple of other games that I have covered on the channel that do use some of these aesthetics, that go into more detail through to the development of your character so that you can progress through the game's progression system. So when you start off, you will end up meeting up with your trainer, and then the case is you have to go and do different fitness routines. You have to do sparring, you have to do different types of fighting styles. You also have to watch your diet, watch what you're eating. You can either focus on increasing your speed, your dexterity, your flexibility, your overall strength, even the strength of your punches, and even trying to improve your overall stamina to a point that you can last longer in fights and take more damage. So between each bout or fight, you will have to go through the processes of recovery and leveling up your character through all of the training methods and basics just to get your character to a fit state to compete again. But in that point you can also jump into sparring matches with other fighters as well to practice what you've learned or acquired at that time. But that is in where the game lies in its difficulty, is even in the sparring matches, if your character's not up to spec, let's just put it this way, you'll know very, very quickly if you're going to be able to contend or not, because even in sparring matches your character can literally be destroyed very, very quickly. As yes, this is very unique, but it's also like a lot of other boxing games in terms of how it controls. It does take a while to get used to the familiarity with the mechanics and control systems, learning how to punch, how to do jabs, how to do uppercuts, how to do basic blocks, parry moves, all with the intention to try and overcome and get the better of your opponent. So it will take a while in order to figure a lot of those things out. Now in many cases, from my own experience in playing this, I suppose I got lucky with a few of the early tries in some of the early matches where I was able to knock out my opponent, or I was able to knock them out like using an uppercut, which I was totally surprised by because I didn't even realise or even know what I was doing. So I suppose it was more luck in it than anything else. But you will definitely know later on that luck really doesn't have anything to do with it. It really just comes down to skill and strategy more than anything to win the fight, because you will come up against opponents that are so physically strong and enduring that you can't seem to break them down no matter what you do. So it leaves you then that you nearly need to go back to the drawing board and just train and train and train and train and just keep training and trying to improve your overall strength and speed until you can get to a point where you can even compete. And even at that, you'll still find it a struggle, because every character that you fight, especially later on in the game as you level up, you will fight harder and tougher fighters, and they will be harder to break down. Plus they can take a serious amount of more damage, punches and thumps and and so forth, but yet they can knock you down very, very quickly. So you do have to really take time to level up your character and pick and choose the best means in which to do so. So you have to pretty much look at your character's overall weaknesses and see if there is areas that you can improve on. But you still have to take into account the sluggish controls, so that can also go against you in terms of fights. So if you pick the wrong punch or the wrong move, the computer opponents can counteract that and literally hit you with a quick jab or a hook or a punch that can literally just knock you flat on your backside. The truth is, it's just the same as what it would be if you were in a real life boxing ring in a fight. It's all about strategy and determination that'll get you through it. But if you do enjoy these older type of games and you want to explore something that was unique to Japan only, that has some very quirky and unique traits, you can definitely give this one a look. It is a bit more unique in terms of how it plays, and it has more of that play appeal that you probably will find compared to other games that were released on the system. So for those reasons alone, it might be worth looking into, especially if you want to go into the whole aspect of the training and fitness, even the mindset kind of characteristics. This game will definitely allow you to utilize that, more of a simulation kind of aesthetic. You will definitely feel right at home here. But if boxing games aren't your thing, then you can look elsewhere, because the PlayStation does have a multitude of different games from different genres that are out there. But for those that do enjoy these type of challenges, there's no harm in having a look at it. Yes, it's not the best fighting game on the system, it's far from it, but it does offer something different that you probably won't get anywhere else. But if so, I would love to know your thoughts of this game if you have played it yourself, and what do you think of these type of games overall? Do you enjoy boxing games that were released on the PlayStation, or do you find them temperamental and slow and sluggish and even frustrating, as probably like I do or many others out there? So be sure to share it down in the comments below, and if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell to be updated of future content. And if you would like to see more videos around many of the other boxing games that were also released on the PlayStation, then you can check out the playlist on screen to see more of those games in action. And as always, keep those gaming memories alive.